Committee, Cuyahoga County Administrative Headquarters, C. Ellen Connolly, 4th floor. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
And Mr. Chair, can you check your microphone, please?
It's on.
Oh, okay.
Hello, I just turned it on right before you told me.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. As a reminder to all in attendance, this meeting is being recorded and live streamed on the county's YouTube page. Calling the roll, Mr. Sweeney,
Present.
Mr. Gallagher,
Here.
Ms. Conwell,
Present.
Mr. Hauser is absent at the moment, Ms. Turner is absent at the moment. You have a quorum.
Thank you very much. Is there any public comment today?
No, Mr. Chair, no one has signed in.
Thank you very much. Approval of the minutes from the September 16th, 2025 meeting. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. The minutes are approved. Matters referred to the committee. Madam Clerk, would you please call item A?
Resolution 2025-0277, confirming the county executive's appointment of Anthony W. Scott to serve on the Cuyahoga County Community Improvement Corporation Board of Trustees for an unexpired term ending January 31st, 2027.
Thank you very much. We have a substitute proposed, and it deals with striking 3 years and putting in an unexpired term, basically a typo or tidying up a loose end. May I have a motion to accept the resolution?
So moved.
Second. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, and the resolution as proposed is here. And we have Chairman Michael Hauser joining us right now, so welcome. And Mr. Scott, please come to the dais. Not the dais, the podium. Happening.
Good morning, everyone. Anthony Scott, Director of Housing and Community Development, Cuyahoga County. To the chair and to the board, I appreciate you affirming this proposition, and I will serve as diligently as I'm capable of doing. And I didn't prepare anything, so I yield to any questions you may have.
Seasoned presenter.
My back is feeling like a seasoned presenter right now.
You're good? Does this take too much time away from all your other stuff you got to do?
No, I look at it as all part of it. You've heard me say before how much I value collaboration, and to the extent that anything that has a nexus to housing, which is largely everything that we do, then it's an opportunity to be supportive. So trying to figure out ways to stimulate economic growth, community growth, bring in outside partners that can develop, expand our tax base, which ultimately benefits our citizens, then I'll sleep a little bit less. That's okay. I'll sleep when I'm dead. I'm a Marine.
I
You
love
didn't think
it.
I was going to be serious the whole time, did you?
Oh, no, this is exactly what we need. My only thought is just knowing you from before, knowing you here, how much you're going to work, just don't spread yourself thin. You got a great team, both as in the administration and your co-workers. But if it gets heavy, I'm just letting everybody know that's listening, don't spread them too thin, because we all need to maximize our abilities. And if you go too much, you're not going to do that.
Well, to the chair, I appreciate that, but I don't think anyone listening is going to give that any regard. But I do know how to say no.
But yeah, I mean, I would be more than happy to share my thoughts if I have thoughts that come to me.
I look forward to the opportunity, sir.
Thank you. Questions? Madam Vice President.
Okay, these are not for Mr. Scott, but for Ben Schaefer. Just wanted to, for the proposed substitute, it was only changed because of the 3 years already in progress, correct?
Correct. Mr. Scott would be replacing Sarah Parks Jackson, who had already commenced her term, so the unexpired is just making that clear.
Okay, and then second question would be, housing director sits on this board. Is that in our legislation that?
I believe there are, I know that there are a handful of, I believe it's 5 county officials that kind of touch the work of the CIC. And I don't know, I would have to get back to you if it's exactly laid out in the legislation that it is the housing director. But I know it's 5 county seats that are part of this board.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Hearing none. Proposed substitute 2025-0277. Is there a motion? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? None. Congratulations, and just to kiss your ass, please add my name.
And nor did we expect you to conduct yourself either. That's why we get along so well, sir. All right, thank you, everyone.
And can we please clarify if this is for second reading or second reading suspension?
Second reading suspension.
Thank you.
That was bad. Might get censored now. Can we turn to matters referred to the committee, letter B?
Resolution 2025-0278, confirming the county executive's reappointment of the Honorable Mayor Gregory P. Kurtz to serve on the Cuyahoga County Planning Commission, representing the Cuyahoga region, for the term January 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 2028.
Mayor, how are you?
Fine, Mr. Chairman.
Before we start, Ben's going to tell us a little bit about what's the committee about.
Sure, Mr. Chair. We are here to propose the Honorable Mayor Gregory Kurtz for reappointment to the Planning Commission for the Cuyahoga region, which I believe includes several communities: Brecksville, Broadview Heights, Brooklyn Heights, Cuyahoga Heights, Independence, Newburgh Heights, Seven Hills, and Valley View. Part of the 8 regions in addition to the 3 county seats that are represented on the board.
Thank you.
And we do not need second reading suspension for this item.
See if the mayor wants it or not.
All right.
Mayor, the floor
Mr.
is yours.
Chairman, honorable members of this body. Listen, it was a pleasure to be appointed 3 years ago. I'm a little bit better shape than I was 3 years ago. I had a cast on my leg, and so we're doing much better than we were 3 years ago. I must say that the leadership of the Planning Commission is very thorough, very informative, and it's a pleasure to work with them. They've been very good to work with in terms of their comprehensive nature of giving us information and being able to allow us to vote on issues that are important. So it's been enlightening, educational, and it's been very good for me too. Thank you.
Very nice presentation. What is P? I've known you all these years. Gregory P. Paul?
Paul.
Not a
It's
bad
like
guess.
St. Paul, right?
St. Paul, I can see that. Don't you see the halo there, folks? Just with the sun coming in.
That's coming
right?
too. That's, nature's taking its course.
I've had the privilege of knowing the mayor for many, many years, and what he's doing out in Independence is evidence of itself, but what he does for the county and the region in his role collaborating with the other 57 communities is commendable. For having him to kind of basically volunteer to serve and re-up and for a second one, we're just very thankful. And I will leave it at that and comment on how well you tie your tie.
Would you like it?
I have one
Okay,
in my
we're in
pocket.
business.
Just in case. Any questions?
This is much more informal than we in normal, right?
It's just nice to have
Yeah.
a friend that's serious about the well-being of Cuyahoga County and their citizens, and the class act that you are, starting off with thanking the planning commissioner department, right? And
Yes,
right
leadership.
there. So that's just who you are, and I know the board is going to continue doing great work, and all the people that are there are committed. So do I have questions? Michael? Madam Vice President?
Or two. Through the chair to the mayor, how long have you served in Independence?
As mayor, this is my 28th year. It's overall my 36th year.
Okay, and
I was a teenager when I started, but
is there any planning or any proposed development in the city of Independence currently? At the moment?
there are several opportunities in the county, the economic development opportunities of some property on Rockside Road, and the downtown area. So there's some opportunities to create some economic development that would not only help the city, but hopefully we can draw from outside the county to enhance the county as well as the state. So there's always that opportunity, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Michael? Just ask something nice to me.
Sure. To the chair, to the mayor, what are some good lessons learned from your last term? What do you think you guys' successes were in the last term, and what do you plan to bring if you are able to get this reappointment?
Like I said earlier, the leadership, the way they provide us information is very good, it's very informative. And then the interactive debates about some of the decisions we have to make. So I find that refreshing. And they're open-minded enough to listen to and collaborate in terms of some of the decisions we have to make.
Thank you very much. Any other questions? Hearing none. May I have a motion to move forward? You don't care second reading, you can, okay. R 2025-0278. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Nay. The resolution moves forward to second reading. And please add my name.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Resolution 2025-0279, confirming the county executive's reappointment of the Honorable Mayor Georgine Wheelo to serve on the Cuyahoga County Planning Commission, representing the Hillcrest region, for the term January 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 2028.
Come on up, Mayor.
Sorry, Mr. Chairman, we're pleased to submit the reappointment of the Honorable Mayor Georgine Wheelo on the Planning Commission for the term January 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 2028 for the Hillcrest region, and just for the committee's knowledge, that is Beechwood, Euclid, Gates Mills, Highland Heights, Lyndhurst, Mayfield Heights, Mayfield Village, Pepper Pike, Richmond Heights, and South Euclid.
Thank you very much. Hi, Mayor.
Hello, Mayor Georgine Wheelo, to Chair Martin Sweeney.
She's my buddy, just for the record.
So I have to say that it's been very interesting, and if you look at what our actual district is, I am the only inner-ring suburb in the Hillcrest district. So to be able to work with my fellow colleagues and communities across the board, and then to come and actually get to work with the Planning Commission is probably a lot different than a lot of the other different, areas geographically. And it's been such a delight to do it. I served early on in the term when I was mayor, early in the 2005 and 6, and came back just 3 years ago. But also at the same time, we've been able to work with the Solid Waste District on the new plan, implementing it, that's going to be brought forth with the EPA. And so it's been great to be part of both, to be with planning and then working with the Solid Waste District. And I just want to say your commitment to the financial commitment to allow us to go out and actually bring dollars to communities for planning. And some of these communities do not have the dollars for it or the expertise. So to serve on this commission has really it's been great. And of course, as Mayor Kurtz said, working with the team is, we're very lucky to be working with them and our fellow members.
Very nice. I came a little bit early to visit my colleagues in the elected world. And when I talked to Mayor Wheelo, she kind of said something that blew my mind. Can you tell us a little bit about your city and what because I'm a dinosaur.
Oh, yeah.
Mayor Kirsch is a dinosaur. You're mid-level of
No, I'm right there with
advancement
you.
in age.
I'm right there with you.
But I'm just, what you told me was,
Yeah,
it
so,
has something to
right.
do with all this stuff.
Right, so the city of South Euclid, when I became mayor in 2004, had the average age of 64. We are now an average age of 35 years old. At the same time, our average household income now is on the average, $70,000, which more than 70,000, like 77, I think it's 77,000 now, which is $20,000 higher than Mayfield Heights. And this was all done strategically with planning because what we learned was, and we all know, is RETA taxes is the drive to be able to give services to your city. So you need people working, you need a balance. So with planning, good planning, and we also got some grants from the Planning Commission and working on changing our zoning code, we've really been able to kickstart and really bring about a whole change in our community. A lot of infill housing. It's, to me, I almost say to myself, where would we be without strategic planning and understanding that if you do the work, you will see the benefits. So now we're seeing the benefits in our city. So, it's great to sit on the commission now and see other communities, being awarded these grants for planning. And I, say to myself, this is going to make our county stronger because more people will live and work here. And that will help with sales tax and passing, all these different levies. So it's exciting to see what you can do with planning.
And just for me, it was the revelation of the age of your average individual.
It's serious. It is shocking to us.
And you sitting on the planning commission to be able to, that's direct result of figuring out what our county is going to look like with that model if it continues. So
And I think it
you're
will.
perfect for this thing.
Oh, well, thank you. I think it will. I think the fact that, when you sit there and you hear about what's coming, and then, we all get to hear all the wonderful things happening in the county anyways, but you say to yourself, if your city is born out of the 1950s with the war, what's your zoning code? What's your setbacks? Do you have layovers so that you can, bring some cool housing? And, it just, for me, I go there and I listen, and sometimes I go back and I'm like, this is what they're doing, so we have to start looking at this. So, for me, it's been great. And, working with Mary and her team, the fact that you continue to support the grants, I think is wonderful.
Okay, any questions from my colleagues? Michael?
Mayor and our other mayor, being a mayor, I tell people this all the time, it is the worst job, it's the hardest job, it's a thankless job, and you have to have a certain degree of ability to take it and roll, and it's very difficult. I got a great mayor out with Mayor Persiak.
Okay.
And I just look at his desk when I visit him, and I'm like, there's nothing good on that desk. And it never crossed my mind. He goes, well, you could sit here. I'm like, nope. I don't have the ability, the skills, or the patience for that. So really, thank you, all mayors in this county, especially during these very difficult times. And not to forget our friends out in the townships. That's really the thankless job. So, and I appreciate you guys taking care of them.
Thank you.
Michael?
Through the chair to the mayor. Mayor, what are some challenges you see facing the planning commission, maybe past term or in the future?
So I do believe that for the planning commission, it will be the fact that they have to be, how do I say this? The county's always going to have to fill the gap in supporting them financially. And, it's not one of those glamorous ones where, you think about ED and all of a sudden they're bringing in this big business. But how are they able to bring in business? Because we're planning correctly and we're looking at strategically where you can put these businesses that will bring income into our county. And I think sometimes when we sit on the planning commission, we say to ourselves, sometimes they're a little short. And I'm not saying they need hundreds of thousands of dollars, but they really need, I really feel that it needs to be looked at on how they're funded. I mean, we know that we all have to put part of money in from our own communities, but the reality is the county's the one that makes out when the planning's correct, right? So, Sarah left, we have a new person in charge of housing, think about this, 68% of the rooftops in this county are homes. 68% from the math I was doing, it could be a little off. But I say to myself, and it took what, a few years ago to finally get someone dedicated to that? So I feel in a lot of ways that, the county, you yourselves and the administration are getting it. You're putting your money really where you're going to start seeing more and more. And I think you're seeing it because I know in our community, 200 new homes in a built-out World War II community. It's not because South Euclid did this on their own. It was because Mary and her team worked with us to change our zoning. And then look what's happened. So knowing that, we have this resource, you have to keep it. You can't lose this resource. It's definitely something that I think benefits you, but it's just not glamorous.
Appreciate it, Mayor. My mother lives on Monticello, so
I know.
I see the great work
Thank you.
you are doing in South Euclid firsthand, and please add my name as a sponsor. Thank you.
Thank you.
Vice President? Not today. Well, thank you for your wonderful testimony and just the excitement in your voice
Oh.
when you put your mayor freaking hat on. It's pretty, it just jumps out of you.
I love it.
Yeah. So,
My time will come to an end, but I hopefully, I will have left it in a better place in serving the county also.
no, your fingerprints and foundation is all over the place. Okay, so ordinance number 2025-0279, do I have a motion?
So moved.
A motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Mayor, keep up the great work. Please add my name.
And thank you,
Michael's name.
because we do serve with our county Councilwoman Conwell, so she gets to see us in action.
All right. Thank you. Next up is letter D.
Resolution 2025-0280, confirming the county executive's appointment of Brian M. Edwards to serve on the Cuyahoga County Tax Incentive Review Council for an unexpired term ending December 31st, 2026.
Morning, Mr. Chairman. Ben Schaefer, again, on behalf of the county executive, here to recommend the appointment of Brian Edwards to serve on the Cuyahoga County Tax Incentive Review Council for an unexpired term ending December 31st, 2026, replacing Sarah Parks Jackson.
Welcome.
And, sorry, Mr. Chairman, I would request second reading suspension for this one.
No problem. Welcome and tell us about the exciting world of the Tax Incentive Review Council.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chair, and I appreciate this. And one of the few members on the agenda today that doesn't have a personal, long-lasting relationship with you, so I hope to build something with all the council members in the future.
I look
so thank
forward
you.
to it.
Well, good morning, Chairman Sweeney, members of the committee, and distinguished guests. Thank you, for the opportunity to appear before you today as you consider my nomination to the Tax Incentive Review Council. It is an honor to be considered for this nomination. It's an important responsibility. I believe this council plays a vital role in safeguarding the public trust through careful stewardship of taxpayer resources, ensuring the equitable use of finite resources, and promoting transparency in the administration of tax incentive agreements. I also recognize the necessity of contractual adherence so that commitments made to our communities, whether it be job creation, valuation increases, things like that, are honored both to the letter and in spirit. If appointed, I'm committed to approaching this role with fairness, accountability, and diligence in our service to our shared economic development future. What really has brought the attention, oh, go ahead.
No, it's Mayor Kurtz is waving goodbye. So.
Oh, sure, no problem. What really attracted me to this opportunity, having a background in structured public finance, having worked for a port authority for many, many years with our own bond fund, not the Cleveland, but the Summit Port Authority, the Development Finance Authority. We were the issuer of a lot of TIF bonds for infrastructure improvements. And one of the goals was to always identify the TIF so that it would create, if it was a 30-year TIF, if we looked at the anticipated improvements, things like that, a lot of them we were able to redeem after 15 to 17 years because of the success of the project. So, all ships float at high tide kind of thing. So that's the perspective we look. As it relates to the roles of the council and, what we're here to do, is, to review, evaluate, gather information, and recommend actions on tax incentive agreements every year. And that is something I find very important because it is something that adds a lot of value, especially in economic development, but also has impacts to the county as well from the standpoint of revenue and things to that nature. So it's very important that when reviewing these each year that they are being followed so that the economic development advantage is being realized, and to, by September 1st of each year, provide written response with the rest of the council on the adherence to the tax incentives that have been issued for that year. And I look forward to serving on this council and open to any questions.
Well, thank you. I love it when you don't go off your prepared remarks and just talk,
Okay, sure.
because it's, you wrote it, a little bit nervous and but,
No worries, yeah.
but just when you started talking, you were on the port for a long time. Are you on the port still?
Oh, no, so now I work for the Department of Development. I joined the county in November of 2017 during the issues going on with the Department of Development's reconciliation of loans, and since then have managed to rectify that situation, you can review
No,
previous
I'm good.
AIG reports.
And I apologize, because the port plays a huge role, and no one really.
And we do a lot of structuring in economic development with port authorities as a capital stack, and, they are very due diligent oriented. TIF is a mechanism that you utilize often, but infrastructure is a multiplier. You put infrastructure in for a large building, you've got somebody else to tap into at the next site. So it's all, there's pros and cons, but from the standpoint of this board or council, it's just making sure that the incentives that were entered into for municipalities, all different districts, are being adhered to and honored, so that either the recommendation can be to move forward, continue, or potentially recommendation for cancellation if there's things. Primarily, jobs are the big component that my biggest interest is. The dollar put out per job created. Obviously, I'm not one who writes those agreements, but it's important that, if money is being taken out of the coffers of the county, it impacts the municipality positively.
And this council identifies it and has the ability to enforce the lack of adherence to the.
So yes,
Yeah.
based on my research, the council has the ability to access records that not every entity might be able to do from the municipalities, the issuers, things like that, that allow us to do that. And what the powers are provided in 5709 of the code .85 that establishes this council is it's an enforcement mechanism only by recommendation. So, for instance, if something is substantially adhered to and it provides a economic benefit, let's say they were supposed to create 50 jobs and maybe there were 48 and the project's a success, I'll learn as I go. This is my first time, but that to me seems like a pretty substantially successful project, and then the council would vote to whether provide for a continuation because they've substantially met it, or if they made 2 jobs, the council could advise not to proceed, recommend that this not continue to be canceled.
This is pretty, I mean, when I read it, right, the Tax Incentive Review Council, you don't think about it much. But the substance and the follow-up throughout my elected career, I've seen so many times
Certainly.
in the city, we let it go out, we never know if it was good or bad.
Yes.
An economic development follow-up, but on the council side, we really never took the initiative to see what's up, or the city may not have. This is really cool.
Yeah, this is exciting. It honestly is an exciting opportunity for me. Being in structured public finance, bond indentures governed how I existed, and I don't read for pleasure anymore. Let's just put it that way. But this is an exciting opportunity to see what's going around in the county and what TIFs are just being done, for instance, because someone heard of a TIF and things like that, and is it actually working? And that, again, gives the county the opportunity to realize potential lost revenue if somebody's not complying with something like a tax increment finding. So it is something I really look forward to. And
Yeah, your excitement gives me an excitement that you're
great.
here. You're jumping in this, and I know I'm looking forward to talking to and I apologize, you've been here the entire time I've been.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, just about. So I, again, spent the first couple of years here just reconciling and remediating the entire loan portfolio with a colleague of mine and a lot of people, and then
Yeah,
we've
and I
successfully done that.
kinda
So
pride myself
been kind of behind the scenes for a while, and now as the portfolio manager, instituting our new policies, procedures with our deputy director and director. So we're really moving forward in DOD as well, and this will be, I think my background with economic development and structured public finance would make me an excellent candidate for this, effective candidate.
How about excellent, effective, plus?
Plus, thank you. Thank
Any
you, Chairman.
questions? That's sorry I monopolized. But yeah, I'm cool. You're good? Anything else?
Just thank you, and look forward to serving on this and really providing value.
Okay. Please.
Through
Madam
the
Vice
chair, have you, Mr. Edwards, ever sat on a board, any boards?
Not well, I should say, when I worked for the Development and Finance Authority of Summit County, the late County Executive Russell Pride nominated me to the CCIC, the Greater Akron CCIC, so I served on that. But in a more personal matter, several boards, including the Akron Civic Theater, Greater Humane Society of Summit County, and served on several national conference speaking engagements, from new market tax credits to the EB-5 exemption-based fifth base exemption on, which is now $100,000, I guess, a year. But anyway.
Good, you'll bring a new perspective.
Yes, I hope to, and also retain a lot of information from those already on the council.
Expertise, subject matter expert, that's how I would describe it. Okay, is there a motion to move second reading suspension for 2025-0280? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? No. Thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate that you're there.
Appreciate this opportunity. Yes.
I look forward to seeing you walking around.
Likewise. Don't say hi. I'll do the same.
Yes. Okay, letter E, please, Madam Clerk.
Ordinance
Second
20.
reading suspension, I think I said that.
Yes. Ordinance 2025-0005, amending sections 303.01, 303.03, and 303.06 of the Cuyahoga County Code to update and clarify the Cuyahoga County Civil Service Plan to ensure consistency with the Charter of Cuyahoga County and the administrative rules of the Personnel Review Commission.
Welcome.
Morning, council members. George Vaughn, the Manager of Employment Testing for the Personnel Review Commission. I just wanted to discuss the proposed changes that this ordinance brings forth. The first proposed change is to update the code language to bring it in alignment with the revised charter language that was adopted during the last charter review and general election. This was to clarify the responsibilities and authorities of the Personnel Review Commission. This was discussed between the PRC and HR. Everyone was in agreement, so it was included in the charter review. However, the code was not updated to align with that, so this is just to correct that.
Tell me a little bit more.
So,
Two entities agreed, but I don't know what they agreed to and what the changes were.
oh, just to clarify, primarily what was in the original charter put forth the PRC's responsibility to ensure certain things about human resources and human resource procedures, responsibilities to adhere to local, state, and federal employment laws. This was updated to clarify that the PRC was responsible for reviewing, auditing, and reporting out on these, but it was the responsibility of human resources to actually ensure the county's adherence toward them.
Thank you. And just, I might dig a little bit deep, because sometimes when we're talking about charter and changes and PRC, because another piece of legislation is coming that I'm going to get a little more focused on, but you said, when you're explaining they did this and it was some of the things. What were the specifics of or the example of things that, do you have that?
Yes, so one example would be from the previous charter language and the current code language. It would say that for the county's executive organization and departments, the PRC had the authority to ensure things like pay equity, standardization of benefits, so on. But it was clarified to state that the PRC has the authority to review, audit, report, and make recommendations, and that Human Resources was ultimately responsible for ensuring that the county does these things, such as pay equity, standardization of benefits.
Got it, because all that is good and to be agreed upon, but when we're talking about pay equity, that's a very serious subject for our
Correct.
coworkers. And that's why I want to figure out exactly what this stuff is, because we're the last stop before it moves forward. But the two
course.
bodies of the HR and the PRC are just well-run, credible, and we shouldn't question, but that's what our job is. So please continue.
Appreciate that, yes. The second proposed change would remove the language from the code that prohibits probationary employees from being eligible for promotion. This was originally in the old policies and procedures manual for the county and was in the code because of that. However, when the PPM was replaced by the employee handbook, I think back in 2018, early on in the life cycle of that handbook, this prohibition was removed. And it would make probationary employees eligible for promotion. The language, however, has remained in code and remained in the administrative rules for the PRC. We want to update that to make sure that they're in alignment with the handbook that council has approved through ordinance.
Right now, conflicting definitions of probation officers or probation employees to be able to receive promotions during the probationary period is going to be merged together in both of them to say, yes, they are eligible.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Eligible.
Eligible for promotion, yes. The third proposed change would update the language on how.
Let's talk about that a little bit more. So they're on probation. Is there there's a time frame for probation, right?
Yes.
In the handbooks, and does it differ?
I would defer to Human Resources for that answer. I know different positions tend to have different probationary periods.
Probably, we'll
but,
go with.
yeah.
But I know with probation, you get to 4, okay, we're going to extend it to a year, and then maybe extend it again. And if you're on probation and you get bumped up, can you still be taken off if you get promoted because you're on probation? Even though you got promoted?
That I'm not sure about. I would.
That's a
that
real
would-
thing, right?
Yeah, that would, again, I'd have to defer to Human Resources for what the outcome of that hypothetical would be.
Hi, Director. Is this critical in regards to moving forward, in regards to the timing of it? And it's my fault for not diving
This-
into this before.
Yeah, this is an item proposed by the PRC, so in terms of, the timeliness, I would defer to them. But I know Sarah can also address the other question you had.
Hi, Director.
Good morning, Chairman Sweeney, members of committee, Sarah Nemestol, Director of Human Resources. So if an employee is promoted to another position while they're currently on probation in their current position prior to the promotion, they would enter into a new probationary period for the promoted position. So, does that make sense?
It makes sense, but just in my own thought process, it's just odd that when someone gets promoted, they're past their probationary period. They've
Yeah.
been here for 5 years, they're doing a great job. They get promoted. Do they get back on probation for the promoted portion?
So anytime you enter into a new position at the county, including a promotion, you're in a standard 6-month probationary period, which can be extended by management up to a year.
Thank you. That's something new that I'm learning now, which I appreciate. But when you're on probation, right, if you don't pass your probation, or there's a situation where you didn't meet the conditions of your probation, you normally get let go.
Correct.
And if someone is promoted and they're on probation and they don't meet the things necessary to keep that probation, do they get fired? Or do they go back to their other job?
I mean, it really depends. I mean, a lot of times, like in the collective bargaining agreements, and again, huge portion of our workforce, the primary portion of our workforce is bargaining. There's provisions in collective bargaining agreements that allow, if you get promoted and you don't pass probation, or it doesn't work out, when you are in the promoted position, you would bump back down. For non-bargaining, it's, that's not standard, but, it's a risk someone takes when they step into a promotion. But it's also something you could, talk through with HR talent acquisition prior to getting a promotion.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think through the protection of our employees.
Yeah,
And it's nothing more for me to just try to understand it.
sure.
Because when it leaves here, the eyes will see it in second reading and third reading, but this is the place that we have to do our due diligence, at least in my brain as the chairperson. I have to try to understand it, because if something gets passed, I have to explain it. And if I miss it, it's on me, so I don't want that to happen. That's why I'm asking the questions, but your answers are very well
Yeah,
delivered,
I mean, we
and I
want
understand it.
employees to succeed in their promotions. And so, we do a lot of internal promotions too at the county. And so we don't want to lose people who, are good employees, and maybe it didn't work out in the promotion. It doesn't necessarily mean we have to terminate them. If the position, that they promoted up from is still open, that's something we can take a look at. But, we want to be
Yeah, it just
reasonable.
It sounds scarier than it is, but the collective bargaining has the protections. And I don't see you deviating from collective bargaining to non-collective bargaining. You'll most likely keep the same conditions, and would be my thought process. Director, you're a great lifeline. Please continue. Thank you, and please
Sure.
continue, sir.
The third proposed change would update the language on how tied scores on civil service exams are handled. The current language in the code forces a sequential rank order of all candidates. So you could have situations where multiple candidates have the same score on a civil service exam, but they would end up having a different rank, so it would be in a sequential order. And the problem that created, that we're trying to correct with this.
How do you get the sequential order?
The first tiebreaker is military service credit. The second tiebreaker is based on who applied first. The earlier application would get priority. So that was how the tiebreakers were applied. And it would lead to a situation where people could have the same civil service exam score, but because they have a different rank, when it was time to certify names to the appointing authority for appointment, one person with the score may be certified and considered eligible, another person with the same score wouldn't. And so what this does is.
Because of the military, and the military is one thing, but who did it first? Everybody has a timestamp date when they filled it in, so that's there.
Correct. And this proposed change would instead give everyone with the same exam score the same rank, and then they're treated equivalently in situations where names would be certified. So you wouldn't have a situation where someone with the same score would be considered eligible for appointment and someone else wouldn't. So it removes the tiebreakers, it considers them tied, and they are treated as a group when eligibility for appointment is considered.
It's a little tricky. Is this the veterans one too?
So military service credit isn't affected. If someone passes a civil service exam and then provides documentation of their military service, they're awarded 5% of the maximum exam score. That isn't changing, and we wouldn't change that. It does remove military service credit as a tiebreaker because we're removing all tiebreakers. We're keeping tied scores ranked the same, and therefore they're treated the same for consideration for employment.
So you give them a little bump for the veterans up front.
Correct.
And then after that, it's wherever the cards fall. That's okay. Treat them as a group, right?
Yes.
How do you move forward with the group?
So the rules for certification, when it's time to certify candidates to the appointing authority, we would certify the top 10 or the top 25% of names. And
How do you decide that?
that's based on their rank order on the
How do you
eligibility.
decide 10% or 25%?
Whichever's greater. So with eligibility lists of 40 names or fewer, the top 10 would be greater. Eligibility lists of 41 or more names, the top 25% would be greater.
Thank you.
And then when they're certified, we would take the top 10 or the top 25%, whichever is greater in that instance. And then when we reach that cutoff point, we're at a name that shares a rank with other names that continue on further down the list because they have the same rank, we would certify the group. So in a situation where the 10th name on the list has the same score as the 11th and 12th names on the list, we would also certify numbers 11 and 12. And it essentially makes sure that everyone who performed equivalently on the civil service exam has the same opportunity, and there isn't anyone left out or uncertified because of a tiebreaker rule.
And thank you. When you get the list, you don't mind me doing this, colleagues? I'm just trying to, because this is something that I've looked at before, and I want to make sure I know what's happening. Test is done. Military got their bonus. 10% of 40. We have 10 individuals, 11 individuals. They're all tied, right? They all have 90. So all 11 are in. How do you go from there?
Those names get certified to the appointing authority through Human Resources. And then Human Resources and the appointing authority pick up any further hiring activities. So whether they want to do additional interviews, whatever the process might be, Human Resources and the appointing authority have discretion to make those decisions. Once the eligibility list is finished and the PRC certifies names, we're out of the process at that point.
Got it. So I'm just, if all 11 are tied, do all 11 get the same treatment?
They are all certified together, so they're considered an equivalent group when we give the names to the appointing authority through HR. And then any further determination would be up to the talent
HR
team
vote.
and the hiring manager, yeah.
Would you be mad if I asked the director to come up again?
Nope, not at all.
Director, would you please come up just one more time? The question is if the certified list and they're all tied, how would you go about the process of hiring somebody? Because number one, number two, number three, you probably go 1, 2, 3. Is there do you have to hire 1 through 10? Nothing like that?
So
1 through 3?
for competitive lists, there's a 1 in 10
Yeah.
10 rule?
Yeah, there's a 1 in 10.
For the certification, but there's no forced
Right.
top-down hiring.
Right, so so essentially, as long as someone's name is on the certified list, Human Resources can hire anyone on the list. And so typically, what we do is we undertake a review of, scoring is one factor, but we look at, the person's qualifications, experience.
Got
and,
it.
And then do another interview with a panel, comprised of various individuals and make a decision based on the list. But our requirement is we have to hire someone from a certified list.
Got it, because other entities or municipalities or counties, the list was you chose them to then move forward with the interviews, the background.
Yeah.
But so that's just, the list is only one component now. You could,
Collective bargaining agreements, I will say, sometimes have some restrictions. Like there is the rule of three laid out in some of the agreements. And so, absent any collective bargaining
yeah,
restrictions.
let's just go non-collective bargaining. If there's 11, are you bound by the 1 in 10?
Yes.
How about there's 11 all tied? They get to sneak in?
Yes.
That's a
if
George
their name-
question.
If their name is certified, and even if we certified additional people because they were tied and had the same rank, all of them can be considered. So you could think of it as a rule of 10 if we're certifying the top 10, but if that stretches down to a larger number, it's the rule of whatever that number is. They can all be considered.
Up to, once you hit the 10, if there are any more tied, they get into the rule of 10.
Yes,
Okay.
anyone who gets certified can be considered.
Good. And I'm getting a little more deep into the HR world, which I should be, but it's very helpful, because I mean, the last thing we want up here is when this piece of legislation moves forward, we get a question and we didn't answer it, or we can't answer it, and it's something in their eyes that didn't benefit them. It has nothing to do with, we know everybody has different opinions, so I just want to, that's where we're doing our work. I'm not picking on you, hope you don't feel that.
Not at all.
Okay, thank you, Director.
I have a few for the director.
Director? Madam Vice President.
Through the chair to Director Nimmelstill. So for every new position an employee promotes to, has a new probationary period?
Yes,
Okay, that's every job across the county.
yes.
Okay, did not know that. Number two, what is the rationale from the HR perspective that we as employers would not treat our unclassified employees the same as our classified employees in a probationary period? Because you stated classified gets to promote into the new position, but if they don't pass that, they can go back to their position, but unclassified not.
For clarification, that's for some bargaining employees. So the distinction is not classified or unclassified. Some of the collective bargaining agreements have those protections built in.
Okay. So when you go as an employee to promote to a different job, there's really no protection.
Correct. Other than, again, assuming someone promotes, when someone's promoted, that's an employee who has excelled, who we want to, promote. We want to see them succeed in the promotion. And, there might be, we try to be reasonable and not lose a good employee. So, if someone promotes up and just doesn't make it, in the promoted position, if the position they promoted from is still open, looking at, there might be, provided there's no restrictions or budgetary considerations, we don't want to lose good people who work for us.
Okay, so another question about when you talked about probationary period. So say the employee goes to, they get promoted and they have an extended, I want to know if they have a new probationary period, a new 6 months, or is it just extended from, we're talking about people that are in probationary period already, and they get promoted, right? So they haven't finished a certain time in their current role, but now are they getting extended a new 6 months or just finishing out their?
So they're,
Just want to be clear on the record.
so let's say someone, is 4 months onto the job, and then, 5.5 months in, they get promoted, so they had 30 days left of their original probation. That's just irrelevant now, because they're in a new position and they start a new probationary period.
Gotcha, thank you.
Sure.
We're beating this pretty good, but the only thing that I see that I want to make sure that's in there, when someone takes a promotion in a probationary period and has an extra 6 months before they agree, very specifically, I want them to understand that this is the reality, and I want to use the word explicitly, understand that I'm taking this job, I'm getting 6 months, and I know if I don't get through this, there's a possibility I won't have a job. Is that in the process that you have, or is?
So it's in, the probationary period language is in the employee handbook, and, it's communicated to employees through the hiring process that they are subject to a 6-month probationary period.
Yeah, for the only one that is being promoted, the very specific, being promoted on probation and starting a new probation, they'll know.
Yeah.
But I don't think the normal logic, at least I wouldn't have it, of, oh, wow, I might be terminated if I don't make even though they're a great employee and they didn't match this thing, but that thing's already filled and there's no place for them, and we're losing a great employee. I just want them to know very explicitly, somewhere in the line, they have to sign something that says, yes, I was told that, and I agree with, I'm accepting this promotion
Yeah.
that says.
I
I'm
believe
on
that's in their probation, their offer letter.
But I just wanted-
I haven't
I-
looked at one in a while, so I'll double check when I go upstairs. But yes, that's communicated to folks whenever they take a position of employment at the county, whether that's, coming in from the outside or an internal promotion.
Yeah, of everything we did, it was more educational for me right here, and I
Sure.
appreciate it, but that's the one thing that came up that I see as something that I want to make sure is there. Michael, sorry for killing us. Come on, you have any more?
No, that was all.
Pretty exciting?
Always.
You weren't expecting this? But thank you, though.
Just, if we could bring up, Mr. Chair, Rebecca. Just wanted to get something
We wanted to keep her in
clarified
the-
on
We
the
wanted to keep her in the
record.
background.
I hate when they come out and don't, no. Hi, Rebecca, good to see you.
Likewise, thank
Through the chair, there is a part in this ordinance that talks about, for the purpose of this rule, removal from an eligibility list. I just wanted to get clear on the record that once individuals do the civil service testing, and they're that one out of 10, and we only can hire that one, the remaining individuals stay on that list and are still looked at. We don't have to go out for further testing or anything like that until we've exhausted that list?
That's correct. Yes.
So just wanted to make sure.
Exhausted the list or a specific timeline that the list exists?
Or the list expires, depending on the expiration date for the list. Yes,
Does it have an expiration, or?
they all have an expiration date.
Okay, and how long is that generally?
It depends on the position. They're generally a year, but we often modify that depending on the needs of the county.
And you have the ability to modify that, do you have to come back to us? Because I mean, 1 year is kind of tight. I like 2 years and 3 years, because it's more testing, right?
Well, if you have a longer list, the likelihood is that people on that list will be less available for
Or
hire
because of the
because they've
job.
had other offers and have moved off of it. So, yeah,
Thank you.
we shorten it when we can.
And just to further delve, it says, for the purpose of this rule, removal from an eligibility list constitutes the removal of the candidate. And it was saying you guys can modify it based on, well, it says it will not be modified or removed until the list expires, the list is exhausted. And my key point is, or the commission must correct an error on the list. So what would that constitute if you had?
Could you direct me to the section that you're referring
Yeah,
to? Then I
it
can
is
actually
in
read.
section, goodness. Section 2, and it's gonna be letter,
J, bottom of J.
yep, J, removal from list.
Could you restate your question for me?
Okay, so
Please.
at the bottom, it says, or the commission must correct an error on the list. So we're talking about removal of the eligibility list. Could you give us some examples of what would those errors constitute for you guys to?
I'll defer to George if you don't mind, because he manages this process, so he's more familiar with the details.
So Councilman, if I'm understanding your question correctly, this part of the code is just stating that when the eligibility list is put on our website, once it becomes that public record, we won't alter it. It will remain there until either the list expires and therefore is no longer in effect, or it's exhausted, there are no names left, and therefore there's no one on an eligibility list to consider. The only instance in which we would change that is if there's something like a typo, an incorrect date, a misspelling of someone's name, a score being entered incorrectly. So for that purpose, we would update it just to make sure that that record is completely accurate.
So that's the error that they're talking about?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
And Rebecca, I just want to thank you because we had the conversation before and you're like, Marty, don't worry about it. And it turned out to be the veterans got
Absolutely.
for the ranking. They were awarded what they should be awarded, but if that award or that little bonus turns out to be a tie, it's just fair because they got theirs up front. And, we had a nice conversation while shooting some hoops, and you were nice enough to explain it to me then, and now it's just nice that we can all have that information.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Just a question to George, Mr. Chair. So what constituted the updates for this ordinance?
So.
Because I'm assuming that it's connected directly to the HR policy, correct?
So, yeah, our motivation to work with council staff on this was first to make sure that the charter and the code were in alignment. But then also, last year, our administrative rules came before council in this committee, and they were adopted, and these were the things that we were looking at implementing. However, an ordinance to update the code wasn't put together in parallel, so we just wanted to correct that.
And I'm gonna add a little bit more. It's just not making sure the two merge well together. It's actually due diligence and deep dive to try to make it as fair as possible. So we had the thought-through rule change that says they get the bonus in the scoring, but everybody's tied, which is a change for the greater good of all.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay?
So,
Well,
Mr.
thanks.
Chair, I would like my name added. I was the original HR director, and so we did a lot of work back then on
Yes, we
the HR
did.
policy. So my ears perk up when we're talking about the HR policy.
Are you making a motion, Madam Vice President?
And I've had great times working with Rebecca. I miss you, Rebecca. Yeah, but you'll get along with Rebecca. She's great. So I will make a motion to move this to the full council under second reading, Mr. Chair.
It's
And
been
add
moved-
my name,
It's
please.
been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Second reading suspension, let's get it up on our council meeting. I thank you very much, and sorry for putting you through it, but it gave you something to do.
No problem. Thank you,
Okay.
council members.
Any miscellaneous business? Hearing none. Go Guardians.